most of them my poetries nimeandika and was natoka from the inspiration of the society. So what is happening on the society is what I write down. So what I see from the nature is what I write down. So most of my poetry was natoka from the inspiration of the society, what is happening. So youth regime, obligation, opportunity, and opposition. For me, I call them the 3 O's. Youth, we should consider these 3 things in life because it's your obligation to identify opportunity and your obligation to identify and oppose opposition. That's why they say drama is dramatic, but why joke is not jokatic. I know I'm not funny, but I think fun is fanatic.
So hey guys, welcome back to our YouTube channel. This is ELISAMO TV and my name is Martha. So guys, today we have a guest, but before I introduce our guest, today we'll be focusing on something different. We'll be focusing on talents. I know you're probably wondering, huyu mgeni wetu mwenye amekuja leo, talanta yake ni gani? Guys, keep watching for you to know. So guys, let's welcome our guest. Karibu sana.
Asante.
So, kindly before we start our interview, can you tell us, maybe unaweza tuambia jina and maybe what you do and stuff?
So I go by the name Francis Odelo. That's my ID name.
Yeah.
And my stage name is Afroteop.
Okay.
So Afroteop originated from the abbreviation of my names. Ambenge Francis Odelo, it's A. Then Francis, you take the first 2 letters, then Odelo O. So it forms the word Afro.
Yeah.
Then for Tiop is the reverse of poet.
Okay.
Yep.
All right. So, Francis, unaweza tuambia, maybe do you go to school ama are you working?
No, I'm still in school. In Dedan Kimathi University of Technology. I pursued Bachelor in Science in Geomatics Engineering and Geospatial Information System.
Okay.
Yeah, and I'm graduating on November, hopefully, or November or December, because the dates haven't been confirmed.
Okay.
Yep.
All right. So, Francis, unaweza tuambia, is it true that you're a spoken word artist?
Yes. So we do this. I feel to do this in an African way because I can feel the spirit of Zulu tell me to stand strong like Mount Kenya. Because I can feel the spirit of Black Panther inside me telling me to beat my heart so that the heart beats like the sound of djembe. Yeah, that's me.
All right. So, guys, you've heard it. So, our guest today, he is a spoken word artist. He's from Dedan Kimathi University, Nyeri. I am so proud of this. So, guys, I know you're probably wondering, spoken word, what is it all about? Is it real? Have you ever heard of spoken word? Guys, kwa comment section, tell me. Sawa sawa. So, tell me, Francis, what was the inspiration behind you being a spoken word artist?
You know, being a storyteller, you find like a way you can give a story to someone, like now in a rhythmic way.
Yeah.
Like nikikwambia to story plain without a sound in it, like the rhythm, like utaboeka. But what if I decided to do something that has a rhythm inside the alliteration of words, una feel like vile zina flow.
Okay.
Yeah. So that was the inspiration.
Yeah.
For me, I'm a storyteller and I really like giving stories.
Yeah.
So I always feel like poetry is inside me. So whenever you just speak, you feel like the words in a flow too vile zinataka.
Okay.
No.
So you being a spoken word artist, how would you describe spoken word? Kwa sababu unajua pale kuna mafans wanashindwa, bana, spoken word tena, ndio nini?
Okay, spoken word, I will just go back to poet because that's like spoken word and poetry is the same thing.
Okay.
Because for poetry, people confuse it that like unaandika tu. But not for spoken word, they normally say like you perform it.
Yeah.
So for spoken word, it's like vile naweza kupatia tu story, but inside the story,
Yeah.
it has a message yenye ina pass.
Okay.
Yeah. So story tu okay, poetry ni kaa ngoma but now iko na flow yake of poetry, like una flow nayo tu. Yeah.
Okay. All right. So, Francis, kuna ile age yenye mtu husikia, bana, this is what I want to do? Or you discover yourself that you can do something, eh? When did you discover yourself that you can do spoken word?
First of all, it trace back up to in my high school life. In high school, I was good in answering poetry questions.
Yeah.
So I didn't know that hii kitu kumbe itanifuata up to where I am now.
Yeah.
So when I was in first year, I started just writing, doing writing. But when I entered in my second year, I started performing them. So up to that, I just ile tu kujiperformia mwenyewe. After that, I started performing pale tu kwa CU like normal. Then after that, I went to drama nationals where I went up to national level. Yeah, and I represent the central region in nationals.
Alright.
Yeah.
So umesema kuna ile time yenye uliperform yako ya kwanza, your first spoken word, right?
Yes.
So how was the reaction? Watu waliichukulia aje?
I do remember my first spoken word, like ile kusema ile yenye nilienda nikaperform, watu wakafeel this is now poetry. Yeah. It was in drama festival. I do remember it was my first time sijafanya that thing, and it was the first year when spoken word was introduced in drama festival, sorry.
Yeah.
So like nilienda tu pale stage, nilikuwa nimekauka koo, but the moment I removed the first word,
Yeah.
even the judge alieka kalamu chini akanisikiza.
Wow.
Yeah,
okay.
so that's how it was.
Yeah. So hukuwa na those embarrassing first moments and you una feel, I manze, this is not my thing.
In fact, it was intense,
Yeah.
because I do remember before I go to stage, I had a lot of confusion. Sikuwa na script, and I'm being told in the next two ni mimi. So I had that anxiety. So nikaenda stage nilikuwa na uoga sana.
Yeah.
Na hiyo I was too anxious.
Yeah.
But the moment nili just spoke the first word, like the lines where ziliflow up to mwisho.
So vile unasema haukuwa na script, was that your spoken word, was it freestyle ama ilikuwa scripted?
It was scripted, but now for the script they needed the hard copy.
Yeah.
So that they see if what you are saying is on the script.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. What? Hey. Sasa guys, mmesikia? Kuna everyone has a first time. Sindo? Ama kila mtu akona ile first time yake. But it depends on how you pick it up from there. Alika first time ilikuwa embarrassing. Some people have had worse first times. But walijipik kutoka kwenye wako, wakatia bidii, wakacorrect mistakes zenye walifanya kwa the first trial, mpaka wakamik kwenye wako sahi. Sindi sawa sawa? So Francis, as we go on,
Yes.
Spoken word zako, inspiration inakujanga kutoka wapi?
Most of my poetries nimeandika and was natoka from the inspiration of the society. So what is happening on the society is what I write down.
Okay.
So what I see from the nature is what I write down. So most of my poetry was natoka from the inspiration of the society, what is happening, like if the evil is happening in the society, that's what I write down.
Yeah.
And how to go about it. Yeah, because I normally write a story that has a solution at the end, because nitakuacha pale hanging, but nitakuwa nimekuacha with a rhetorical question in your mind.
Yeah.
So like something that you need to do. So what are you doing to evade it, or like to eliminate it in the society?
All right.
Yeah.
So when you first started doing poetry, spoken word, it being a category ya poetry, kuna vile society wanakuchukulia. Did they take it in a negative way ama walichukulia in a positive way? What was their reaction?
I'm glad with the society ya Kenya, because the moment umekuja with something new that can deliver a message in an entertaining way, they are always welcoming. Even like ukicheka in the likes of Teardrops, alianzia pale Churchill, but people don't normally know penye alianzia, but tulikuja kumjulia wapi Churchill. At that time unaona like alikuwa analeta jokes ndani ya poetry, but at the end kuna message ana deliver. So yeah.
All right. Wow, that was nice. So ebu niambie, umesema there was a time uli represent mpaka nationals, Yes. Have you featured in any maybe major or minor events?
Yeah, I've been doing my performance in most of the events around in Nyeri.
Yeah.
Kuna one yenye inaitwa Vuka Mwaka. I've presented there, I've performed there twice.
Yeah.
Last year 31st and last year but on 31st.
Alright.
I've done several in Nairobi. One was I've done with Poet Andrew with an program called One Mic. I've done twice there. Then I participated in Slam Africa Grand Poetry yenye huwa ina happen in Nairobi. Unfortunately sikupenya the first lot ya 16. Yeah.
Wow, okay. So guys, kila mtu ako na first. Maisha ni kulingangana. Unasukuma tu hapo mbele. So umesikia ame represent different areas. We are so proud of you. So proud.
Thank you.
So ebu niambie, do you do spoken word? Do you do it as a career? Ama unaifanya ikiwa biashara? Ama unaifanya for fun? Unafanya spoken word ikiwa ya nini?
You know, at first nikianza poetry, I was doing it for fun, but I came to gain it as a passion.
Yeah.
Then after that, after passion, like now, you get something back for out of it. Like unaitwa place, you do an event and you get something out of it. Okay. At first I didn't see it like a point ya kupata some income, but at first it was like it was a relieving part of me, eh? So whenever I do it I could feel if like wase wamebambika nayo, see, then I feel proud of myself because if I can create something yenye inaweza bamba wase, then you know like the desire for a human being is to be appreciated, and whenever nime perform and I feel appreciated, I normally feel
Yeah.
I'm doing something to the society.
Alright.
Yeah.
So tukiwa tu hapo kwa appreciated, yes. Wazazi wako, do they support you? Do they support that you're doing spoken word? Ama wanaichukulia aje?
At first time niliwaambia they were like, hizi sana vitu gani unafanya? So I do remember one time tulikuwa it was on a Sunday, so like tulikuwa pale kwa nyumba yetu, so you were me, my mom, my dad and my sister and my brother. So tukiwa tu Churchill, then teardrop akatokea. So unaona like sa ile party yake, so nikaambia my mom, so hivi ndio wanafanya. So alikuwa zile hivi sasa alafu, so you know those African ladies vile wanakuanga, yeah, African moms like, ni unafanyanga, sasa okay. At the back of the mind nilikuwa najua okay, that's the end, juu nishawaambia, but sometime I get support, like nikwambia I have an event and I need some cash za kutop up, I need to print my t-shirt, they always come in. Okay. Yeah.
All right. So would you recommend someone afanye spoken word kama biashara?
At first nasemanga something like poetry, it comes out of passion, because naweza kuambia ufanye poetry but deep down your heart una feel like hautaki. So most of these things unapatanga you do it out of passion. Out of passion do una grow ina touch other people, and then unapata una get the reward. Yeah. But if you look at the perspective ya biashara, utaanza vizuri, but kama ulikuwa unatafuta that cash then ukose, utaanza kusema poetry si fiti like ilipani. Yeah.
Okay. Sawa. Tukiwa hapo tu kwa spoken word, would you mind ukitusemea your first ile spoken word uliandika ya kwanza kabisa? Unaikumbuka?
Kabisa.
Unaweza tusomea maybe like a few lines?
Yeah, because poetry ilifika national, so why? So the poetry inaitwa Youth Regime, may perform pale Slam Africa, na bado may perform in some of the event. So Youth Regime, obligation, opportunity and opposition. For me, I call them the 3 O's. Youth, we should consider these 3 things in life because it's your obligation to identify opportunity and your obligation to identify and oppose opposition. That's why they say drama is dramatic, but why joke is not jokatic. I know I'm not funny, but I think fun is fanatic. So let's catch the short story from his story to this story and make a history from this story that started in these issues, a life issue time. This girl come na pombe akisema mgema ako poa, na angemind kutiliwa tena. Yeah. With regime.
Wow. Guys, mmesikia ama ni mimi tu peke yangu? This guy fire bana. Fire. Yeah? Hey. Sawa. As we go on, how do you jungle ama ulikuwa una jungle aje time yenye ulikuwa university na bado ulikuwa unafanya spoken word? How was it? How was the experience?
I always think it's always prioritizing your time, because mi nilikuwa nikimake my schedule. I know from this time to this time niko na classes, then from this time maybe like nitakuwa field, then like I dedicate for an hour, like because it's something that you like, you will always find time for it. Yeah. So like most of the time nilikuwa nipata weekend nafanya my practice, I do my reciting, I do my correction on my scripts. Yeah.
Alright.
So it's all about prioritizing. So like ungepata maybe I dedicate like 2 days in a week. I say that each time I dedicate fully for perfecting my poetry. Yeah.
So as we go on, labda kuna msi hapo ama kuna youth hapo ama kuna mpaka mtoi mwenye anaona na anataka kufanya spoken word, advice yao advice yako kutoka kwako hadi kwao ni gani?
Advice to me for anyone mwenye anataka anze poetry is just believe in yourself and never give up. Yeah.
So guys, mmejisikilia, believe in yourself, usi give up. This life is too short for you to give. Sawa. So kuna ile time yenye mtu anajisikianga bana sahi nikashika tu hiyo pen hivi naweza andika hizo lines sawa sana. So ni time gani hiyo unakuanga most productive?
For poetry mi siyesema like kuna time nakuanga productive, because kuna time like naweza kaa tu kwa hao then nianze kuspit. At that time nachukuanga pen naziandika. Like kuna poetry yenye sasa inafanya already sasa iko 2 pages and it came just from inspiration. Ilianza tu like tu ndani ya akili, you feel ina flow, so I just take the pen na nakumbuka the storyline, because most of my poetry wanaandika according to storyline.
Yeah.
So the moment I have the storyline, yeah,
Okay.
that's good to go.
I have a quick question. Yes. How would you describe your poetry? Ama how would you describe your spoken word in maybe 3 words?
In 3 words,
yeah.
My poetry is deep, fun, and enjoyable.
Okay. Sawa. So kuna tunasikianga kama wasanii labda wanaimba mziki yenye imeandikwa na watu wengine ama wanaandikia wasanii wengine mziki. Does that happen in spoken word ama does that hiyo imeshai kuhapenia wewe ukiwa sasa kama Francis?
Okay, for me I do my poetry on my behalf, like ni mimi mwenyewe hujiandikia, because the moment unaandika your poetry you normally feel because if you give me your poetry, okay, I narrate but I won't be feeling it. So I normally do my poetry so that I feel. Wanasamanga, if I can feel it, then you can feel it.
Alright.
Yeah.
Okay. Sawa. So tukimalizia Francis, hebu nieleze, everything that has an advantage has a disadvantage. So what are the kind of challenges that wewe ukiwa kama spoken word artist huwa unapitia, and especially you being a youth and a youth in Nyeri County especially?
So challenges za poetry, you can go for an event and then maybe ulikuwa look up to that event, like you will get a chance to perform. Ujue like most probably mtu utaka apige show onekane. Yeah. So unaenda pale unaimba time imeisha, so it's for the guest okay, perform inafaa apige. So it once happened for me, but hizo tu ni vitu za dunia. Yeah. So we need to move on. All because I remember saying never give up. Yeah.
All right. So as we conclude, who is that person, a spoken word artist, that you usually look up to?
Yeah, I have few. I don't have one.
Okay.
Because first before I name them, there is a way yenye huwa wanafanya.
Yeah.
Kuna ule mwenye utapata huyu ako lyrical. Yeah. Na kuna mwenye ana flow na words. Yeah. Kuna mwenye ako na emotion. So one of them is Teardrop. Yeah. The other one is Koikare, a lady.
Yeah.
And then the other one is imagine inapotea. The other one is Lexus Mshairi. We tulikuwa na yeye in 2019 in the drama festival.
Yeah.
Sasa naona anapiga shughuli fiti. Then the other one is Poet Andrew. The other one is Binti Aisha. The other one is Willie Weber. There are many. It's only that I can't exhaust because for each and every poet I get to learn. Yeah.
All right. So, as we conclude, where do you see yourself in the next 5 years? Wewe ukiwa kama spoken word artist?
That's a tricky question because ujue bado kuna hii side ingine ya career.
Okay.
So in the next 5 years my aim was now to mentor others because currently na mentor wase the way ya kuandika poetry. So I've been off on the stage for a period sai, but sai na mentor wase vile wanaweza andika a story but which is a poetry, you know, because nikuja kunaretia story yenye kona 4 different story utaboeka, ni kuanzishia hii na pika katikati na mali naanza ingine. So I'm mentoring guys vile wanaweza connect stories to be one story.
Okay.
Yeah.
So umesema you've been off the stage for a few. So what was the reason behind it?
Umekumbuka nimesema kulikuwa na career. So I was in my final year this year, and the last performance that I did was in last year November there. So this year from January I haven't been able to do some staging. Yeah. I think the last event was Vukamwaka 31st. That was the last event that I did. This year's gender stage. Yeah.
All right. Maybe you can answer another question, yeah? How do you feel about spoken word ikiwa as an industry, as I like to call it, in Nyeri County and Kenya as whole?
Industry of poetry, I normally like our heads vile walianza in the likes of teardrops. Wao ndo walikuja open the window for poetry, because hapa nyuma even as you can look they had the band, the way they do their music, it's like mostly nakuanga na poetry, like Willie Weber calls it floetry. Okay. Yeah. So I normally like it because now it like imepenya into the industry, and my urge for the upcoming poets, let's take this thing to more international levels, because mostly if you look at to Grand Slam, mostly guys get a chance to go and perform into other countries. Yeah. So it's a good platform, and I won't nilikuwa nimesahau you Timoji K, you were with him in the Grand Slam, and he was the Grand Slam 2020.
All right.
Yeah.
So what do we expect from Afroteop, like maybe in the next few years?
In the next few years, I'm planning to do some collabos with some of the poets around here in Nyeri. Yeah, so that we can create a ground for Nyeri. As you know, Nyeri, it's somehow dormant in most of things, but we're planning to rejuvenate the spirit of music and poetry in this county. Yeah. So in the next few more years, utaona tukifanya collab with some of the poets. All and right. We shall be taking Nyeri to another level. Okay. Yes.
You have said mnataka kurejuvenate poetry na music. Yes. Is there zote mbili, is there a way that they usually combine? Like can you do music but hapo katikati kuna poetry ama kuna spoken word? Is it possible?
Yeah, it's very possible. So what does the band do?
Okay.
And they do music and poetry.
All right.
Yeah.
Okay.
So it's possible.
All right.
Yes.
So guys, I hope you've learned. Mimi personally nimesoma. I had almost a very small percentage. Sikuwa najua poetry in that deep, but thank you so much Francis. Asante kwa kuja kutueleza. At least you have umetupanua mawazo. Asante sana. So guys, I hope umelearn a thing or two. Me personally nimesoma. At least I have understood spoken word in a deeper meaning yenye sikuwa naelewa. Sawa sawa. So guys, thank you so much. Hope you stay tuned. We'll be bringing you different talents, artists, watu songwriters, dancers, models. Tutakuwa tunawaleta kwa hii show. I hope you stay tuned. I've been your host, Martha. So guys, till next time, adios.